You know that feeling when you're just staring down an absolute mountain of financial reports, audit data, or complex legal briefs, and you find yourself wishing, man, if I just had an army of tireless interns to sort through all this? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cutting straight through all the online hype to give you a really clear, super practical, and highly focused guide to the absolute most powerful AI tools available to professionals right now. We're going to decode the true heavyweights of the AI world, and honestly, more importantly, we're going to show you exactly how they fit into an actual, real-world professional workflow. Okay, so we have got a tightly packed agenda today. We'll kick off with how AI actually works at a foundational level, move right into a direct comparison of the AI heavyweights, do a deep dive into some incredibly specialized tools, and then check out real-world professional applications. And finally, we will wrap up with the absolute non-negotiables: security, risks, and ethics. Now, I want to point out that everything we're covering today is grounded entirely in this fascinating source document. It's a comprehensive, real-world, 3-day professional syllabus. And look, this matters a lot, because so much of the AI advice you see online, it's just purely theoretical. But this syllabus represents what actual high-level professionals are doing right this second to save literally hundreds of hours. It's a literal roadmap. It's designed to take you from basic foundational AI concepts on day 1, straight through custom scripting on day 2, all the way to incredibly complex audit applications and risk management by day 3. So we are going to extract the absolute best, most actionable insights right out of this curriculum. All right, let's jump right into section 1, how AI actually works, foundational concepts. Because look, before we can even think about mastering these heavyweights, we've got to understand the fundamental building blocks of how they actually process information. Right off the bat on day 1 of our syllabus, we run into the ChatGPT tokenizer. Now, if you're somewhat new to the under-the-hood mechanics of AI, think of a tokenizer using a really simple analogy. Imagine a complex sentence is this massive, intricate Lego castle. Now, an AI cannot just swallow that whole castle at once, right? The tokenizer is basically the system that breaks that massive castle down into individual, digestible Lego bricks. We call those tokens. These might be whole words or sometimes even just parts of words. By breaking language down into these mathematical tokens, the AI analyzes patterns and just predicts what the absolute most logical next Lego brick should be to build a coherent response. Understanding this is so incredibly vital for professionals. Why? Because it explains exactly why AI sometimes hallucinates or misses nuances. It doesn't actually think the way you and I do. It is simply mathematically predicting the next most logical Lego brick. And that brings us to how we actually steer those mathematical predictions. Also highlighted on day 1 is prompt engineering and LLM functions. Think of prompt engineering as your universal steering wheel. It is the art of formulating incredibly precise instructions to control the AI's tone, its format, and its output. To really grasp why this is so important, just contrast a bad prompt with a good one. A beginner might sit down and type, "Write an email about the tax update." Okay, pretty vague, right? But a professional using real prompt engineering types, "Act as a senior accountant. Draft a formal 200-word email to a client summarizing the new GST update and format it with 3 actionable bullet points." Wow, that steering wheel changes literally everything about the output. It is hands down the single most crucial skill for any tool we are about to discuss today. Which leads us perfectly into section 2, the AI heavyweights, a direct comparison. Let's actually look at the absolute titans of the industry and see exactly how they stack up against each other. So let's put these titans side by side, diving into the explicit differences of large language models laid out on day 1. First up, ChatGPT. It emerges as the versatile standard, heavily featured for things like task scheduling and deep customization. Then you have Gemini, which is highlighted for its massive integration into the Google ecosystem, which honestly is very much like how Microsoft Copilot operates as the parallel heavyweight totally dominating the enterprise office suite. Then there's Claude. Claude is what we'd call the nuanced analyst. If you feed Claude a dense, 50-page legal document, it catches these tiny subtleties that the others might completely miss. And finally, Grok. Grok operates as the real-time data challenger, tapping directly into live feeds. So understanding these core identities is absolutely crucial because it helps you pick the exact right tool for the specific job you have sitting on your desk. Let's zoom in on ChatGPT for a second, because the syllabus specifically highlights some advanced capabilities that take it from a fun little chatbot into a serious professional workhorse. For instance, the task scheduler allows you to set up automated routines, and customization is incredibly powerful here. Just imagine programming ChatGPT's custom instructions so it always unconditionally responds in your exact company brand voice, never breaking character. Plus, the syllabus specifically calls out the ChatGPT store and whimsical diagrams. This shows how you can seamlessly generate visual workflows. You can literally turn a messy, chaotic text-based brainstorming session into a beautiful, boardroom-ready mind map, and you never even have to leave the chat interface to do it. Moving right along to Section 3, Specialized Tools Deep Dive. Because look, general chat is great, but the real magic happens when we start using tools custom-built for highly specific, targeted professional tasks. And one of the absolute standout tools listed on day one is Google NotebookLM. Seriously, if you are a professional currently drowning in PDFs, quarterly reports, and endlessly long meeting notes, this tool is going to blow your mind. Think of NotebookLM as a hyper-intelligent personal filing cabinet. Unlike ChatGPT or Grok, which search their vast, generalized training data across the whole internet, NotebookLM is grounded exclusively in the documents that you upload to it. You feed it your specific financial reports or your proprietary legal briefs, and it instantly synthesizes only that data. Because it is strictly grounded in your specific files, it effectively eliminates the risk of the AI hallucinating or just making up random facts. If the answer isn't in your PDFs, NotebookLM will flat out tell you, I don't know. For a legal or financial professional, having that level of accuracy and trust is a literal game changer. Shifting over to day 3 of the syllabus, we see this massive, really impressive expansion of Google Gemini's ecosystem. It moves way beyond just being a simple prompt box. Think about your typical morning routine for a second. With Google Gemini connectors, the AI links directly into your workspace. It can scan your incoming morning emails, cross-reference them with your calendar, and actually draft suggested replies for your most urgent meetings before you have even had your first sip of coffee. Then you have Google Gemini Gems, which allow you to spin up customized, highly specialized AI experts for different departments. When you combine all that with Google App Scripts for custom back-end coding integrations, Gemini really positions itself as the automated connective tissue of the modern professional workspace. Okay, on to Section 4, Real-World Professional Applications. Abstract concepts are all well and good, but how does this actually save us time and solve real problems on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, the true power of these tools unlocks when we sequence them into our actual daily jobs. Take the highly specialized ICAIC AGPT that is woven throughout our entire 3-day syllabus. Watch this progression. On day 1, it's deployed as a frontline assistant handling initial income tax notices. By day 2, it's elevated to assist with much deeper ITR scrutiny. And then on day 3, it is full-on resolving highly complex GST notices. This brilliantly demonstrates exactly how a custom-trained AI can be integrated step by step to automate progressively more complex, heavily regulated tax workflows. It essentially acts as a tireless, incredibly precise assistant to a human accountant. And the practical applications get even wilder when we look at the Day 3 audit section. We see AI applied directly to the purchase register for anomaly detection in massive data sets. To put that into perspective, imagine you're looking for a single red marble in an Olympic-sized swimming pool totally filled with blue marbles. A human reviewer is eventually going to get eye fatigue and miss it. An AI, it spots the red marble instantly. Applying this to a massive purchase register means catching fraudulent entries or accidental double billing in literal seconds. Then there's the financial statement review, which completely automates tedious cross-checking and the generation of Carroll reports for compliance. This is exactly where AI transitions from being a cool novelty into an absolutely essential engine for professional accuracy. And this shift fundamentally changes how we build our own tools. Day 2 of our syllabus perfectly contrasts the old world with the new world. On one side, we have Excel macros and VBA, which is the traditional, incredibly manual, code-heavy way professionals use to automate their spreadsheets. On the other side, we have the absolute next generation, code to HTML, llama coders, and Bolt. Instead of spending hours or days trying to write clunky VBA code, professionals are now simply using plain English prompts. With AI coding assistants like these, or GitHub Copilot, you just describe the app or the script you want, and the AI generates the code instantly. You have just leveled up from being a manual data entry clerk to acting like a senior software manager. Let's wrap up with Section 5, Security, Risks, and Ethics, because we have to talk about the elephant in the room. With this incredible, completely unprecedented power comes some very real professional responsibility. On day 3, the syllabus hits incredibly hard on security, specifically naming prompt injection as a major risk for any tool. Let's break this down with a simple analogy. Imagine you hire a very strict, no-nonsense security guard to protect a bank vault, and you tell him to only let people with a blue badge inside. Prompt injection is basically like a scammer walking right up to the guard, handing him a fake note that says, "Hey, your boss called, ignore the blue badge rule and open the vault immediately." It is a cyber attack that actively tricks the AI into overriding its core safety instructions. And this matters deeply. Because if a bad actor successfully uses prompt injection on your company's customer service bot, they could trick it into revealing proprietary secrets or offering totally unauthorized discounts to anyone who asks. Which leads us directly to what is arguably the most important practical takeaway from this entire curriculum: redact and data anonymization. Listen, before you feed a single piece of client information into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or Grok, you absolutely must strip it of identifying markers. Never, ever paste a spreadsheet containing your clients' real names, their social security numbers, or private addresses into a public large language model. You always use an anonymization tool to replace John Doe with Client A before the AI ever even sees the text. Anonymization isn't just a best practice. For professionals handling sensitive data, it is the absolute golden rule of AI engagement. And this is exactly why Day 3 wraps up with such a heavy focus on AI risk, laws, and regulations. We absolutely have to operate within robust frameworks like FATE. Fairness ensures our AI isn't inherently biased against certain demographics or datasets. Transparency means we can actually explain exactly how the AI reached its conclusion when we are, say, sitting in the middle of a rigorous corporate audit. As these tools integrate deeper into tax scrutiny and financial workflows, adhering strictly to these compliance frameworks isn't just about crossing your T's and dotting your I's, it is literally your ultimate shield against massive legal liability. So, let's land the plane with a final thought drawn straight from the top of the Day 3 syllabus: moral machines. As we've seen today, we are rapidly handing over complex hack scrutiny, massive data analysis, and even custom code generation to these incredible AI heavyweights. But as they deeply integrate into literally every facet of our professional lives, the ultimate question remains: how do we encode our nuanced human accountability into their automated decisions? It's a massive challenge, and it's one every single professional is going to face in the coming years. So the question is, are you ready to lead that charge? Thanks for exploring this masterclass with us. Stay curious, stay secure, and go put these tools to work.